Man, guys, this is my favorite time of day out here. It's about 7:30 p.m. almost. The sun is just fallen beneath the top of the tree line, and so it just looks so beautiful. We've been out trying to acquire the stuff for getting our gate up, and whew, did you guys know turkeys fly? Look at him.
It's up there. He's making sounds too.
Look at him. He's up there freaking out.
Oh gosh, he's
there
way
he is.
up there.
They're in the trees. Can you see him right here?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he's gonna come out right there.
Okay, I didn't know turkeys flew like that.
I didn't either. So
Okay.
we have tree climbing turkeys.
Yeah. So when we got here, the turkeys were crossing the driveway and they had all their babies with them.
There's like seven
There's
or eight babies with mom and dad.
But I didn't know that they would fly up into the trees like that. That is crazy.
I mean,
They're high up
they're
there.
40 feet up in the air at least.
The babies are still up there.
And here we were trying to walk up the driveway, and all of a sudden, one of the parents just, phew, look at them. Yeah, the babies are flying off back over toward Goatville, or the goat pen rather.
That's crazy.
Oh,
I hear him. He's
talking.
calling for her.
Ah, I love it out here. Like I said, favorite time of day.
Yes.
That was, there, look. You can see the rest of them in through here. We have yet to get this close to them because they're usually pretty good about hearing us and then taking off, but they're also normally way further away and they don't have the babies with them. So it's just been, we catch the tom or whoever and boom, they bolt. But now both mom and dad are with them, and there's about 7, what do you call baby turkeys? Turklets?
Turklets.
About 7 turklets following them.
So that's another reason why we really want to get out here, so that we can be here for these moments.
If this turkey comes out and lands on top of us,
Oh my gosh.
that would be the funniest thing in the world. I don't know which one, the mom or the dad, kept going back up in the tree, I think, to get the babies out and get them off to safety. We're not gonna bother you, but that's where the goat pen's gonna be, so.
They're going right down into Goatville, and right where the goat pen.
You may have an LGD after you one of these days, or maybe we'll get some turkeys and they can have some turkey friends.
That might not be a bad idea.
Okay, well that was fun.
That was an exciting time.
Obviously we couldn't have planted that because those are wild turkeys. That was just good happenstance.
Yeah, that worked out well.
So we have been running all over town today because, as you guys know, it's hard to find the things you need to get things done. Whether it's electrical cable or PEX or concrete or the gate or the form for the concrete or anything. We've just been all over the place, and so we got put off. Granted, we worked really hard yesterday and we were out here for a very long time, and so today we just thought would be more of a planning day. Shannon's dad came and met us, and I showed him how poor of a job I did on all the trenches and showed him my fancy septic work, and so he was able to give some advice and give us an idea of how to finish this out. He's gonna come help us with it. Yeah.
Tell us some more things that we're gonna have to buy.
Yeah, there's plenty of that out here. So, got the measuring wheel and the tape measure in case we needed that for whatever reason, but I need to assess how much of the electrical cable we need and how much of the PEX that we need to finish this out so I can get the trench closed, then we can get the base rock and stuff out here. All right, you ready to measure?
Yeah.
Where do you want to start? I guess we could show them first.
Yeah.
Okay, lay any judgment you want. I don't care. I'm proud of my work. This is the first time I've ever done this. I haven't had an excavator out here for myself yet. We've just done the skid steer. Excavator's a little more precision work, and it's a little more tedious because it's just slow. I like the skid steer. I like bouncing around and going really fast and pushing heavy things, but obviously skid steer wouldn't have done this job. All right, this is our breaker box. I hope that's what it's called. So right here, I will only have power lines. I didn't go very deep on that one. But we also came across some of their old phone lines. But I got to about right there, and then I was like, I didn't really think this through. I'm trying to figure out, do I want to connect where the camper's going to go and the well house to the breaker box, or do I want to run electric to one of the buildings and then just bring the electric through that building up to the campsite? Still couldn't make up my mind, and I thought, you know what, let's just connect them all. So I got a little bit of shovel work to do, because right here I couldn't get in a good position to dig that out going the same way. It was comical and scary. At one point I split the trench with my axe and didn't feel very secure, so I thought, yeah, we're not going to do that. So I got the trench over here for the water, but I think what I've decided is I'm just gonna do like a star in between all three, campsite, well house, and breaker box up here. And then I can run water and power in the same trenches if I need to, and that way I think I can't solidify exactly my plan here. As long as I have all three of them connected like that, I should be able to put power and water wherever.
Great.
Yeah.
Progress.
This one is hard for me, because it's just, there's no like specific plan, you just do it. This one's going
it's good for you.
Yeah, I think it is, or it's psychologically making me go crazy, I don't know. It's all right, it's going well, we have to get it done. I'm really excited to have this done, so I'm gonna keep trucking. I need one of these along with my skid steer.
I'll see if I can get on that for you.
Okay, maybe a little bit bigger one. This is great for this stuff, but if you're gonna pick one up, just make sure you get a big one.
Okay.
Like a 35G would be fine.
Of course.
Yeah. And the skid steer, of course. A little deeper than I have to be, but better safe than sorry, right?
Yeah.
Plus, once you kind of get in a rhythm, it's hard to stop yourself. You're like, oh yeah, I need to move back, move back. It wasn't a real big guy. They did have the bigger bucket on it, the wider bucket. What was it, like 17 inches or something?
Yeah.
And I was really hoping for the 12-inch, but turns out what I'm gonna do, we're gonna run the electrical from the breaker to here, where I then trenched on down to the well house, and then trenched on around over to the campsite. So that trench all the way here will have both PEX and power in it, and then I'll just have the power, the two power lines coming off the box, and they'll meet right here at this intersection, and then one split off to the well house and one split off over there. That's all. That's the whole story.
Yeah.
I was stressing over that yesterday. I think I was in that thing for about 7.5 hours.
Yeah,
and
it was a long time.
Only took a couple breaks, and my back's feeling it today. It was hot too. There was no cab with air conditioning, which was fine. It was good. I was just so glad to get this done. It was a big hurdle. Okay, so now you know, and yes, I know that's deeper than it has to be, but when you have an excavator and you paid money to rent it and you get in a groove, you start figuring out how to do it. Sometimes you just accidentally go a little far. It's pretty rocky, so some of it took a little time, took a little finesse. But now we just need to know the lengths of all of it so that we can get everything dropped into it, hooked up, filled back in, base rock. All right, who's gonna measure?
I don't know if I really trust myself to measure.
Hey,
I can try.
If I'm being honest, I don't know that I trust you 100% either. I don't mind doing it. Here, I'll trade you. Camera for the wheel.
Deal. That turkey is still over there making call sounds.
Oh, I heard him talking, yeah. I'm sure they're making sure they got all their turklets out.
Turklets. You heard that right.
We gotta make a shirt, because now we got a turlet and we got a turklet. Ooh, if turklets could use a turlet, it would definitely be a turklet.
That's true.
All right, let's measure this out. So we know, like here, you're gonna have the 4 feet coming up, basically 4 or 5 feet to get up into the box. So whatever measurements we come up with, we're going to add to that so we can have extra. We'll spool it, we'll do whatever.
Okay.
But you don't want to run short. Whatever, I'm getting buzzed. You hear the turkeys talking to you?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say that we want to put power somewhere over here as an approximation. Okay, so that first leg is 135 feet, give or take. I can't believe those turkeys are sticking around.
I can't either.
Probably because they got their babies with them. I was hoping this would be under 250 total. I think we're gonna be close. Because I know they sell reels of 250, and I know we could splice in more if we are short. 247.
Total?
Yeah. So the idea, I've kind of been reading on running electric and PEX in the same trench, and a lot of codes for different states and things. For water and electric line, they just need to be 12 inches apart. We do have, I forget what it's called, but it was like the header thing, the metal conduit that goes up the side of the building and into the well house. We have a little, maybe a 5 or 6 foot piece of that, but then we have like a 12 or 15 foot piece that was going up the old power pole. You see that one out of the breaker box up to the transformer? Basically like that. So that one we'll put across the driveway and run the electrical through that, since there will be more heavy traffic and the dump trucks with the rock and stuff in it. We'll have that one, keep it a little protected. Then we're either gonna get sand or pea gravel to kind of soften what we're gonna set it on. And then I will probably drop the PEX and the electrical at a little bit different depths, because the PEX needs to be deeper than the electrical, and that'll just kind of help with that 12 inches of separation. And then we'll put more sand or pea gravel on top, and then we'll put all the fill dirt and rocks and everything back in, so to kind of protect that stuff so that we don't have to dig it back up and repair it. Okay, let's get the measurement for the PEX. You gonna remember 247? I'll remember it.
I remember 250.
Okay. And obviously when I go up those dirt piles, I'm losing accuracy a little bit, but the base of that trench isn't perfectly flat, so you just never know. So we're at about 83 feet right here, and from the big box stores, the PEX comes in like 100-foot rolls. So what we had talked about doing was maybe putting a line up here, cutting the PEX, putting in a frost-free spigot, and then get another 100-foot roll, so we'd need 200 feet of it, and then take that on out. But that way, if I'm gonna make a joint right there anyway, let's just give ourselves a faucet or spigot out here. Cool with that?
Yeah.
And that way it makes a little more sense to have to buy 200 feet of it when I know we're not gonna need all 200. $170.
So every time we are out here this time of evening, we always hear a lot of things creeping around in the woods and stuff. So it's going to be very interesting once we actually get out here to see what all we get to see on a daily basis. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, this time of day, and I've noticed this at the campground too, the raccoons do it. They all kind of creep to the edge of the woods as the sun's starting to fade, and then it's like they're just waiting. And the moment we're gone and they have free reign again, then they start showing up on our camera. The deer are coming up the driveway, the raccoons, the groundhogs, the turkeys will come back. It turns into a bit of a wild kingdom out here come nighttime. It's fantastic. Yeah. But that's what we want. I love it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being out here.
We're getting there. We are getting there. I heard from a lot of commenters, and when Shannon's dad was out here and he got to see my handy septic work, I told him how OCD I was about the angle of this thing, and so we got to talking about it, and I'm probably gonna have to get a jackhammer for the footings because I need to break it up a little bit to help with any drainage whenever it rains out here. So in doing so, I may jackhammer, here I'll show you. The pipe coming out of the septic tank is straight. So somewhere there's an elbow and then it goes over at an angle. So I'm gonna break this up, dig this out a little bit, and I think we'll just cut it right there on this side of the footing and get our PVC sitting right here. That'll do a couple different things. That'll pull this back so that we can have our camper further back on this pad, more on center or wherever we choose, and it'll be coming out perpendicular to the footing.
And you'll be able to get it a little bit closer to the ground level.
Yeah, because at that time I'll probably have to get another couple pieces of PVC to repair what I do, but I'm gonna cut that down a little bit and shorten it. We're not gonna bring in as thick a rock after going and talking to the rock company, stone company, whatever they are. We're not gonna bring in enough to get it up high enough. I don't like how high this is because I don't want my stuff coming out and trying to go back up. That doesn't work with sewage.
It doesn't flow that way.
Doesn't flow that way. Hey, but this was our first rodeo and at least it's holding.
Well, and now you know, after talking to my dad, what you can change to fix it.
Yeah.
And it's very minimal.
Yeah, it won't be too bad. I think, you know, as long as I don't take the jackhammer too far down into that pipe, but even if I do, I'll be cutting it on the other side over here. And that way we're just coming right out of the septic, and we'll be pretty much, yeah, it'll be perfect. And it'll be a right angle. I don't have this crooked stuff going on anymore.
Gotta have your right angles.
It's been bothering me. Okay, so we got our measurements. We got our forms for the impromptu fence post holes that, yeah, Kyle made a little boo-boo. It was the last part of the day, and we still had the excavator, and I thought, hey, I'll just go ahead and dig holes for this. An auger would be ideal. Then you could just put the post in, put the cement in, and you'd be fine. Those holes are big. So I'm gonna drop in forms, put the post inside the form, and then we'll have that for concrete, but I can push dirt and rock and everything back in around those forms and stabilize it a little bit before I go pouring the concrete. Yeah, we really want to get that gate up, and I think, you know, I like the idea that we've pulled it further off the road, more onto the driveway, where without us having a fence yet, somebody would really have to go around it very blatantly to get onto the property. So
basically, they'd have to go off-roading. We would definitely know at that point.
Yeah, it'd be an intentional trespass, basically. That's kind of what the gate's gonna say to us. We'll be able to put up the gate, put up the signs, follow the legal laws of like, hey, you know, please, we want some privacy. Especially once we have the camper out here.
You have a wasp by your head.
Here you go.
Good job, you handled that pretty well.
I'm getting better. I've been practicing. They'll still get me every once in a while. I had a red one try to attack me while I was in the excavator. Some of the bruises I have on me are my quick ejection out of those machines when they're trying to get me. Now, I rode with wasp spray, but I ran out because that's how much I used it throughout the day.
So Kyle is going to measure this old power pole that we have. That's what we're going to use for our gate posts.
Yeah, that had the old transformer and breaker box on it, and that was over here. And then whenever they came out to fix it, or we paid them to upgrade things or whatever, they said, hey, we can take that one out and you don't have to have that extra overhead line between the two poles. And I said, let's do that, and then we'll run everything else underground from that. So the only overhead is what was already here when we bought the property, which is a huge cost savings.
Yeah.
So we already had power when we got the place. All right, let's measure that. How long is it, Shannon? What's your guess?
20 feet.
Hey, there's some of those M&Ms. Those are delicious. This is 20 feet right here. Okay, total length is 23 and a half, but it looks like it starts tapering about right here. So we'd want to use
the thicker part.
That end of it, yeah. But that's plenty, because if we're putting 2 or 3 feet in the ground, let's go measure the height of that gate. It can't be 48 to 56 inches.
Okay, let me do a tick check real quick.
Yeah, always, it's a necessity. Oh, I had a little bitty one on my shoe. You know where they end up after that.
Yeah, up your leg.
Yeah, that's the only nice thing about wearing shorts out here is like, you really feel when the ticks are on you. If we have pants on, you don't feel them until they're up on their skin, where they're gonna bite you and hold on. But then you're open to a lot more issues like, oh, I don't know, poison ivy. Gotta pick your poison, pick your battles. We're getting better at it though. We're learning the routine. We think through what projects we're gonna do when we get out here. I just look at Goatville, man, this time of day. So pretty.
Oh, look at the sun peeking through there.
Yeah.
I can't get it on camera very well, but that's really cool.
A couple lightning bugs flashing at you. But yeah, we're learning, kind of think through our projects and what we can, should not wear, do, gloves, safety. I feel like we're becoming country. It's working.
All the things.
We just kind of had to dive right in head first, and you know, some of the things we've learned the hard way, and some of the things we've learned from you guys, and just other people doing the same thing. That poison ivy, by the way, I cut that vine, worked like a charm. We had some other great input from you guys about some things we can do further to take care of that in the future, but just as a little impromptu project, it worked out. So this guy is 52 inches. Of course, he'll be elevated a little bit off the ground, but basically we just need to accommodate for enough of it up out of the ground to cover 52 inches.
Okay.
Let's call it 5 feet, 60 inches, depending on if we get it level or...
So basically, if we cut those posts in 10-foot sections, it'll be as high as we need it to be, and then once we have everything hung, we can cut off the top to whatever length we want or whatever height we want.
I would really like to cut it while it's not in the ground, because I don't really want to climb up 7-8 feet in the air with a chainsaw, or I don't want to hold a chainsaw right here if I don't have to. What we'll do is I can build this back up once I measure and know because that's like almost 36 inches on the nose, and I don't think we need quite 36, but if we did, if I did 3 feet in there, and then we did 6 or 7 feet out, 10 may be perfect. And it's obviously, it's okay to have them taller than,
Yeah.
plus we do need to figure out, you know, we want to try to get them the same length so that one's not taller than the other. I don't know, maybe this wasn't the best idea, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna make it work. Hey, we got holes. We can make it work.
At the same time though, my dad gave us some tips on what we can do to make it work. So
That's true.
It'll be okay.
Yeah, I really appreciate when he comes out and has a lot more experience. They used to have horses, and so he's dealt with tons of fencing, and of course that's a different animal than what we're dealing with. Quite literally and figuratively what? But they used to have horses, and he's just a handyman. He works on cars, and so his level of expertise and experience is night and day, polar opposite of mine. And so I feel a little silly when he comes out sometimes, but he's being helpful and he's offering wonderful advice, and he does it in an encouraging way and only pokes fun like 2 or 3 times, and deservedly so, because he's been here, you know, he's done this before. He just did it way earlier in life, learned his lessons, and now he's sharing that wisdom with me, and I appreciate it a ton. Well, I'm not cutting those poles in these clothes or anything like that, so I kind of think we call it a night and go grill some cheeseburgers.
That sounds great.
All right.
I will say Kyle is a pretty good grill master, so I would much rather have his cheeseburgers than from a restaurant.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It only took me about 10 years to get good at it. That's not true.
Not quite 10 years.
Nah. We did a lot of grilling at home on the back patio when we had the house.
Yeah.
I'm excited now to move that out here.
Me too.
All right, guys, another day, progress in the right direction, got the trench done. I will get a small skid steer for when they bring the base rock out, and I think we're gonna go ahead and have them do the driveway as well. And so that day, what I may do is just rinse it 2 days in a row, and then I can push all this dirt back into the trench, because I don't really wanna do that by hand.
I don't blame you.
The next day, we'll have the rock scheduled for delivery. Moving right along. Well, guys, that's all we got for this one. If you are new here, please smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, turn on the notifications. If you've been with us, we love and appreciate you. You guys are the best. We appreciate all the comments. Be sure to leave Shannon a comment down below and she'll read it to me. But as always, guys, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Yeah, this guy's huge. You got some heft to him, that is for sure. I don't even think 2 of me could hug that. Be really close. Let's try it. Oh, I don't know.
You might be able, 2 of you might be able to hug it.
It might be a double hugger. That's how we measure how big trees are. Can Kyle hug it? How many Kyles does it take to hug it?